I think it's like very underrated to decide like where to move if there's like good places to live like just outside the city. Like
Yeah.
I'm talking like 10 to 20 minutes. And the more a city has like those options, it's nicer because then you can like have your own space. So you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for it, but then you can still like have the city feel.
Like
Because
you
like
do.
Chicago,
Well, that's what I do
but, like,
too. I live in the suburbs.
exactly. And like because in Chicago, the suburbs are like 30, 40 minutes. And then like give rush hour traffic or like other stuff, it could be like an hour and a half away.
Yeah, that's
Like
great.
that's
That's
so
so
far. Like
long.
people are like, "Oh, I live in Chicago," and you're like, "Okay, where do you actually live?"
Oh,
Or like
really?
you grew up, or like people are like, "I grew up in Chicago," and you're like, "Okay, but like where?" Because like most people didn't grow up in the city.
I would think like Chicago's like really small.
No,
Oh,
it's
that's
like
so
massive, and
interesting.
there's like so many different types of suburbs. Like the suburbs, like because obviously everyone can't afford to like live in the city, so the suburbs have just like expanded so much. But they're like, 30 to an hour and a half away
Wow.
from the city, especially with traffic.
I felt
So
like I would go into the city more than I do. Like, it's only 20 minutes away, but we go like maybe once a month.
Yeah.
that's not bad.
Yeah.
I definitely like in the winter we like hardly ever go because like on the winter we like in the winter on the weekends we like do stuff at home like to work on the house or just chill.
Yeah. Did you make any kitchen progress of plans?
We decided like which built-in things that we want. So like
Oh, that's good.
I want
You
like
mean like appliances?
no, not like that, more like what sort of like we want a knife block drawer. Instead of having like one out on the counter, we want like a knife, and because like you
that
can
would
buy
be
like
so
the
nice.
drawers and stuff with like all of these built-in stuff things already in them. So we want like a knife block drawer. We want like a utensil drawer that like already has things like specifically mapped out in it.
Ooh, that'd be so nice.
We want like one thing I saw on TikTok was like the trash can where like you can just push in and then it pops out at you, which is so nice. And
You push it
like,
into the cabinet or something, or like
yeah, and then it like automatically kind of pops out at you so that
That's
like you don't
cool.
have to like put something down to like open up the drawer. You know what I mean?
That's
Oh
really
yeah.
nice.
You can just like use your foot to kind of like push on it.
Those are my favorite memes where it's like you go to a rich person's house and you can't see anything because everything is within the cabinets and under the counters.
Yeah, like
and
the
everything.
fridge
Like,
it has
trash?
like yeah.
Yeah, the fridge
No
has
idea.
cabinets in front of it.
Yeah.
Just everything blocked.
Because my dad wants to like order custom cabinets.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
And so like we kind of have to decide where we want stuff now versus just like, oh, okay, we're just gonna get a bunch of drawers and cabinets and stuff and then like decide later. I was able to find a couple of Pinterest like kitchens that are similar setup to what we want, which like was really helpful to see like visually what it's gonna look like. And I think we might have like a second appliance garage.
Oh,
in like kind of that dead corner, like like
wait,
in my
what does that
kitchen
mean?
to the right of the sink. Like it's the corner that's like really hard to reach anything.
What is it? That's an appliance garage?
Have you never seen an appliance garage?
No, I
Well,
thought
does
you
it,
were
like,
saying you were going to put
open,
some
like-
appliances in your garage.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I was like, oh, you're gonna have even more appliances in your garage. Why do you have so many appliances?
Like, you don't want to go walk downstairs and upstairs. You could just
No, all you do is like there's a few different designs, but like you can like basically just lift it up and it's like a cabinet on the counter. So like your appliances
I
can be
had
on the
that.
counter, but it like looks cute,
like a bread box, kind of. Doesn't like
a little
we
bit, but
used
it's
to
like
keep our bread
bigger.
and our toast in there, and it was like bigger in the corner, and then you like lift up the thing.
Yeah, but it's like a little bit
Maybe
bigger than a
bigger.
bread box kind of thing because like it can fit like your KitchenAid or you can fit, we want to put like a blender, toaster, KitchenAid, Instant Pot.
Where are you gonna put your microwave? I was just gonna ask. Did you guys grow up with your microwaves like on the counter or above the oven?
Growing up, we had it above the
Stove.
Yeah, we had it like above the stove.
Yeah,
same.
But ours,
did not
we're gonna
experience
do
that.
like a microwave and then like an oven like on the wall, like we have it now.
Yeah, I like that.
Like a different location.
I hate the freaking microwave on the counter, and we like plan to move it in the pantry once we build that. But like Cameron grew up with the hood thing above the oven and not a microwave. But I'm like, I just like my microwave being very accessible because I like to heat up everything.
I know the hood looks pretty, but then like if you do the hood, then you have to have your microwave in the cabinet, like what Brittany's, or like above the oven or whatever. Like having your microwave sitting on the counter feels so.
I hate it.
It doesn't feel upgraded or anything. It feels downgraded.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. And in theory, like once we do the pantry, it would have like a place where it would look cute. But like, I'm gonna walk into another room to microwave something.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Could you put it in a cabinet or no?
I think that's probably what we'll do. Or we'll probably buy another microwave because this one is like $80 that we just bought before we moved in.
Yeah, I like the ones. I don't really want to give up the like cabinet storage, but I do like the ones with like kind of the open in like the island area.
Oh yeah, like you pull it out.
Yeah, and then you like put it, you like load it from the top.
I do like that,
but I'm sure those are like more expensive.
And it's cute when kids do it. Like when I see people who have kids and they just like go microwave their own little thing because then it's lower.
Yeah, that is really cute. Okay, I also was like I would want to see if you guys like relate to this or like you think about this. This is like the biggest girl math ever. I think maybe it's not. But like when I was adding up all the appliances, they're like like $2,000, $3,000, like $1,000. And then I like put them all together. I was like, oh, I hate like 4 appliances for $7,000. That's like so cheap, like I thought it was gonna be so much more. But like individually, I'm like $2,000 is so much money for like this fridge or like this microwave, whatever it is.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing.
But like $7,000 all together, it makes sense. Like it adds up. Like that's fine.
Are you gonna get one of the like cool fridges? I love that one that changes. Like you can get it in different colors. Where the front, I think it's the Samsung one or something, and they have like all these different colors, and it's so cute.
I think we're just gonna go all KitchenAid because I really like KitchenAid other stuff.
Yeah, it's good to match them all.
I really do wish appliances would go back to like in the 70s where people had like brightly colored refrigerators and stuff. Like that would be so fun.
You just need all Smeg things.
But like, why is stainless steel the like nicer version? Like,
because
like,
it matches
white
everything.
Fridge, it's like that's gross. You have a white fridge, but like, white low key goes more with things than stainless.
Well, like, cafe.
The finish of like the
right. It's like matte,
or it's like that weird like pebbly like.
Oh yeah, the textured.
I think it is the texture that.
But like Smeg colors are like cute and smooth and like I don't know.
Have you guys seen the cafe fridges? And like they have really pretty white ones with like gold handles or whatever.
What cafe brand? Like what?
I think it's KitchenAid, isn't it?
Is it KitchenAid?
Is it by KitchenAid?
I could be wrong.
I'll look it up. I feel like that's the brand.
I really don't know.
Did Rose?
I honestly did. I don't know which ones you're talking about. I need to see those. I probably won't buy them because I still.
It's just the brand is Cafe, as far as I know.
Huh.
But like this fridge is $4,100.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And like, can you kind of see that? It's like
it's
white with the gold handle. Pretty. You can like pick. They're really customizable, but yeah, they're like really expensive.
That's tough.
That's so funny. Yeah, I do the exact same girl math. And then also Cameron really wants a truck for some reason. I don't know why.
I want a truck so bad. I totally understand the appeal. I'm like, yes.
I guess it's like easy to just be able to do things and we don't have a car that has all-wheel drive. So like going to the snow and stuff is also a thing. But right now, like we don't have a car payment or anything. And he's like, well, I was thinking like our credit cards are really high right now. Like we pay like our minimums are over $1,000 a month for sure. Like definitely. And he's
like your minimum payment?
Yeah. Like I think it's like almost like, 2,000 per month. Yeah, it's crazy. But he was like, so once we're done paying off all the debt, then like if I had a $700 car payment, we'd be saving money. Like, okay.
Now we're used to paying $2,000 a month on credit. Like, what are we gonna do with that? We could buy G-Wagons.
I was like, okay. He's like, girl math.
I love that he's like, we'd be saving money.
Yeah, I mean, true.
True. I do love that.
Should we do our intro?
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of So Glad We're Friends. I'm Maggie.
I'm Devin.
I'm Brittany.
Today we're going to talk about social anxiety. I also pulled up some like research and definitions and shit because I feel like Devin also has this issue where like a lot of her, well, I don't even know if they're your followers or just people who view your videos. Like there's a lot of misconception about shyness, being an introvert, and social anxiety and the differences between those. So I got like some scientific data of the differences.
I like that.
Nice.
Let's dive into the definitions first. I want to like hear them.
Okay, so the big thing, first of all, is being socially anxious versus having social anxiety disorder. Like that's an actual disorder. Like my anxiety diagnosed is just generalized anxiety disorder. But having specifically social anxiety disorder is like a specific thing. Okay. So it says social anxiety disorder is a common type of anxiety disorder. A person with social anxiety disorder feels symptoms of anxiety or fear in situations where they might be scrutinized, evaluated, or judged by others, such as speaking in public, meeting new people, dating, being on a job interview, answering a question in class, or having to talk to a cashier in a store. Doing everyday things such as eating or drinking in front of others or using public restroom may also cause anxiety or fear due to concerns about being humiliated, judged, or rejected. The fear that people with social anxiety disorder have in social situations is so intense that it may feel beyond their control. For some people, this fear may get in the way of going to work, attending school, or doing everyday things. Other people may be able to accomplish these activities but experience a great deal of fear or anxiety when they do. People with social anxiety disorder may worry about engaging in social situations for weeks before they even happen. Sometimes they end up even avoiding places or events that cause distress or generate feelings of embarrassment. Social anxiety disorder usually starts during late childhood and may resemble extreme shyness or avoidance of situations and social interactions. It occurs more frequently in females than males, and this gender difference is more pronounced in adolescents and young adults. Which I was like, okay, so do I have that?
So what's the definition of socially anxious then?
Okay, I feel like this is a lot of reading right off the bat. Okay, well, first of all, you can do the treatment for social anxiety disorder is usually just medication or cognitive behavioral therapy, which is like the normal talking therapy. It says there's one key difference between introversion and social anxiety. Introversion is a personality trait, not a mental health condition. If you're an introvert, you might have strong listening skills, carefully consider options before making a decision, dislike confrontation, prefer to share feelings and thoughts through writing or art. But since introversion is a personality trait, it's a part of who you are, not necessarily something you can work to change. Learning and developing certain skills can help you feel more relaxed in groups of people, but new skills can't really change how you get your energy. With social anxiety, you might be like feeling more anxious, avoiding doing certain things, fixating on the possibility of messing up, being embarrassed, and more like the feelings that come with it rather than you getting your energy from being alone.
I need that definition because of all of the trolls that tell me introverts would never post on social media. I mean, just you saying that introversion is a personality type, whereas social anxiety is a mental disorder.
Yeah.
Like that's the key right there.
Yeah. And when you say it so simply, it's like, oh, like why don't people understand that it's so different?
But that's the problem is people pair the two. And a lot of times I think it goes hand in hand. And I think that a lot of it, I think when you're an introvert, you grow up and get more and more socially anxious because of people always pointing out that you're different.
Yeah.
And you socialize differently.
I'm sure that most introverts have whatever they're feeling. Like, say you're just like shy when you first meet somebody. Like, you're not like talking necessarily like right off the bat. But like, it's probably perpetuated so much more by other people versus like yourself. So then you start to like second guess like, oh my god, like did I say something wrong? Like did I come off weird? Like do people like understand me? Like so then every interaction you have is just reinforced by that versus like you just going about your life and you're quieter at first. Then if no one ever pointed that out, you probably wouldn't think anything of it. You'd just be like, oh, I'm just observing, listening, and seeing what's going on. And then making my decision to talk.
Wait, but listen to this, because this what's interesting is the definition of shyness, because like that's more what you're saying right now is being shy versus being introverted. So it says shyness is another trait that often gets mixed up with social anxiety and introversion. It's even been suggested that social anxiety simply represents an extreme form of shyness. Like people with social anxiety, shy people usually feel uncomfortable around strangers and hesitant to open up in social situations. If you're shy, you might prefer to communicate through text or email, stick close to good friends in social settings, worry about meeting new people and wonder whether they'll like you, blush, get sweaty, feel sick to your stomach before speaking in a group. Yet, shyness often eases as you begin to feel comfortable with people or in a situation. So, for example, you might have zero reservations about speaking your mind amongst close friends, or at a party, your nervousness might begin to wear off once you feel welcome and accepted. Social anxiety, introversion, and shyness can occur together, making it tough to tell where one ends and the other begins. That said, many people toward shyness or introversion without also having social anxiety.
Interesting. I'm shy, even though I'm not supposed to say that. But I mean,
I feel like I relate to some of those things with shyness, but I wouldn't categorize myself as a shy person. Like, I sometimes am like just more reserved when I first meet people, but like I'm not thinking kind of about those different like things of like what are they thinking about me. I'm just like I'm gonna take a beat and observe like the different personalities that we have here and like what people are saying, what the conversation is, and then I'll decide kind of like how I want to show myself.
A very simple definition from the book Quiet by Susan Cain of shyness is fear of judgment. Like, simply put, it's fear of being judged. And, you know, once you are comfortable around people, that fear loosens.
Yeah.
Lessons. That's interesting. I don't know if that always, because I feel like sometimes I'll still have anxiety, like even with closest friends or with anybody of like still feeling like, oh, did I mess up saying that, or was that weird or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Like after the fact, you mean?
Yeah. Or like maybe they don't like me anymore. Maybe they want to hang out with me anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. I also think it's like so much based on the situation. Like this girl I met at the nail salon. I don't think I told you guys the backstory on this situation. So the first time, or like, okay, 3 times ago when I got my nails done, I went in. I was like, "Hey, is like this girl here?" Because I didn't know her name. I didn't get it.
You really told this.
We do know the story.
Did we tell the podcast, or was that just
Yeah, I edited it. I remember editing it last week, where the girl couldn't do your nails.
Okay, so you guys kind of are familiar with the story.
Yeah.
So she couldn't do my nails. I went to the guy instead. But okay, but going back to that story, it was a girl that was like getting her nails done. She was like, "Oh, like if you want to go with her," and I was like, "No, like it's fine." The next time I go get my nails done, she comes in again, and I'm getting my nails done with the same girl that we both like.
Oh, okay.
And our nail girl pointed it out. She's like, "Oh, like you were here last time, like when you tried to get my nails done or whatever." So she came in after me. Then Saturday, she like calls to make sure Cindy's available and like what time she can come in. And it's the same girl.
What the heck?
I was like, this is the weirdest thing ever.
You're like on the exact same nail schedule now.
Yeah.
You're both like, need to get them done again.
It was like the time before last was like, I think it was like a random like Thursday afternoon maybe, or like, I don't know. It was before, it was like months and months ago. So like I was like off of the schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's such a good opening to make a friendship.
Yeah. And then, so she was like, "Hey, I'm Liz." And I was like, "Oh, hi, I'm Brittany. Like, nice to meet you." And then, I forgot, like, then I was, like, waiting for Joe, and, like, Cindy was, like, cleaning up her nail station and stuff, and we were just kind of, like, chit-chatting. And then we found out that we lived in the same neighborhood.
Okay, yes. I'm recalling the story.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And then she was like, this is where, like, because this is all happening in front of the entire nail salon. You know, like,
I just gave away my address.
Well, yeah, I was like, not just that, but like, there's like everybody in the nail salon is like looking.
And when it's quiet,
like, listening. Yeah, it's like
they don't have anything else to do.
No, everyone's just.
I love listening to conversations at the nail salon.
And I was just like, I don't really know what else to say right now. Like, I could feel everyone listening to us. Like, I just like rambled on about like, oh yeah, we're gonna redo our kitchen, blah blah blah. Like, I don't know, but we were both excited that like because there's a lot of older people in our neighborhood.
Yeah,
but she was like, I'm just like always looking for like younger people like within the neighborhood. And
how
I was like,
cute. How long has she lived there?
I don't know, actually. We like didn't get to that deep of the conversation, but
hopefully you'll see her again. This is kind of like a change of subject, but this is why third spaces.
Okay, no more questions.
No, it's change of topic of the podcast episode. But your nail salon is like your third space. Remember we talked about third spaces and how like they've gone away. They've become social media. But like you keep seeing this girl or like the same people at your nail salon. That's like more likely you're gonna make friends there because you guys are regulars in this one spot.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
And that's like the
so
best
cute.
place to make friends. So hopefully you'll see her again when you get your nails done the next time.
Her number?
She was like, give me your number. I was like, okay. But like this was like one of those situations where like normally I was like thinking it. I was like, oh, like maybe I should ask for her number. And I was like, I'll just wait until the next time. And then she was like, give me your number. And I was like, okay. So we talked about like potentially doing a workout class or something together.
That's fun. Can you like walk to her house? Does she have a dog?
I was thinking we could do a walk. I feel like that's like one of my favorite like
that's a really good start.
To get to know people because like there's kind of a time and like obviously we're like in our own houses, so we could just do like a loop together, and then we can call it.
That'd actually be really good.
But I was thinking like a workout class for the first time. Like I don't really know if that's necessarily the right move because
you can't really talk. It's
so
like a date,
So I like don't know if I'm like. We're gonna vibe like friends, you know?
Yeah. Does she seem like your age?
No, she seems a little bit older. She told me her husband. This is all in the nail salon. I was just like, this is like way too much information. But
see, you're making friends with the extrovert.
Yeah,
that's doing it to you.
She said her husband or boyfriend bought their house in 2012 with like his ex-wife. So
oh fuck,
and so he has a daughter.
Oh.
I don't think they have any kids.
I was thinking, I bet they got such a good price on the house.
Yeah, they probably
2012, probably like $200,000 or something.
But I was thinking, I was like, I graduated high school in 2012, so like,
oh yeah, maybe she's younger.
But he bought it with his ex, so
I was thinking that maybe she's younger then.
That's what's so weird. Me and Cameron were talking about that the other day of how like when you meet friends now, you have no idea how old they are. Like some of my friends, I'm like, I literally don't know if you're 35 or 25. Like I really don't know. Because everyone just looks the same. Like you really can't tell.
Joe's friend, like they were on the golf course. I don't know what possessed him to ask, but I die every time he tells me this story. Like this man that they were golfing with is clearly like a little bit older. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could tell like he's not within their age range. Mm-hmm. And Joe's friend was like, what year did you graduate high school? Like nobody asked what year you graduate high school.
Well, that's so funny. Literally Cameron was like, that's the way you have to do it, is you have to ask what year they graduated high school, not college. Because like I went to college 5 years, he went to college 5 years. Like you have to do high school, and then it's also less weird than being like, how old are you?
That's so funny. But the guy responded, Joe just overheard me saying that, but he was like, he responded 1999.
Holy shit.
Joe's friend graduated.
I was 1 year old.
I feel like 2018 or 2008, I think. Because he's like 4 years ahead of me in school.
Yeah, that's what my sister.
He's like, I guess like, 9 years, 10 years is not that big of a difference. But still, like 1999.
Yeah, when you put it in dates like that and you're like, I was literally a baby when you were graduating high school. That's so weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. Well, still 10 years ago to me is like 2000.
Yeah,
like it does not make sense.
I know.
But
I never like when people say things are 20 years old. I'm like, so the 90s.
Yeah,
it's really weird, and it's really weird now because like I feel like fashion and trends are usually 20-year periods. Like 90s stuff was really popular like 10 years ago, and now I feel like it's like stuff when we were little is really coming back. Oh my god, did you see like the cargo short, like the capris that are coming back, like
cargo
below
capris?
The knees? Yes. I'm like, please no, I did not like
as long as they're not like tight below the knee in like some plaid pattern.
Oh my God, those were horrendous.
Just the below the knee is such a bad length. It's
I know it cuts your leg in such a weird spot, and it doesn't flatter anybody unless you have
only
giraffe legs.
Pull it off are like Hailey Bieber and
models.
Yeah,
the models that are wearing them to show off the styles, and then all of us try to buy it, and we look stupid.
Yeah. Do you guys think, speaking of bodies, we were talking about Chelsea Handler's birthday video that she posted this.
She looks awesome.
She looks so good. And I'm just wondering, do you think she has she gotten any sort of like surgery to tighten things, or do you think it's like laser and stuff? Because like her skin looks really like tight and good.
I in a way mine doesn't even. A lot of upkeep, like laser and stuff. I don't think my mom's skin. My mom's like 10 years older than her, and it's not like my mom has like old saggy skin either, you know?
That's true. Yeah, her
stuff. But I think she has taken Ozempic before. Like she's talked about like doing Ozempic for like 2 weeks to like lose a couple pounds. She also has a trainer, so like she is working out with a trainer all the time. But yeah,
interesting. Does Ozempic work like that? Like you can just be like, I'm just gonna take
this was back when it was the celebrity thing before like normal people started using it. And Chelsea Handler talked about it in that way, so I
love that she openly talks about things
like that. It is insane how many I think we've gotten like 3 or 4 offers for
what?
Like Ozempic semaglutide to like
brand
for like like local like area people. I don't think anything national, but like a lot of, but like it's kind of become a more normal thing. Like there's a lot of opportunity to like promote that stuff, and like I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about it because I think it's like a great option for those who want it, but like I don't know.
Do they have people promote it who also are diabetic or like need it for that reason, or is that like would that disqualify you?
So that's what I actually don't know what semaglutide is indicated for, but like that does get into very, very sticky territory.
Imagine the restrictions around what you can say and not say would be around that.
I know. Like even with Devin and Nutrafol, like you could not say
hair loss
or you couldn't even say hair thinning, right?
I couldn't even say hair growth, I don't think.
No, you couldn't say hair growth.
How do you not say hair thinning?
I could say thinning, yeah.
Okay. There was like a list of words you can't say and then like alternatives for them. But basically the reason what it is, and this is like what I dealt with in medical device, is like when you go to the FDA, you're like, this is what this does. And so if you don't get those other words in your like indication, then you can't like speak to them.
You know, it's
like
weird.
You don't have hair growth in your like results or like what it's indicated for. You can't be like,
what the fuck is it supposed to do?
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. It's like you can say it's called a hair growth supplement. That is what it's called, but you can't say it will make my hair grow.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can say it'll stimulate like
healthy hair,
like stimulate collagen production or something.
Yeah.
That's why like if you look at the Skinny Confidential, most of the time they don't make any claims. They say it helps to do this, or it like
she says for me it did this, like
but they like can't say definitively, otherwise it could end up in a very
I just also really don't understand the whole like of the extra vitamins like that people say that you just pee that out and that then it doesn't help you if you're just consuming all these extra vitamins that you don't need, your body will just get rid of them. And it's the same thing with dog supplements. Like they just like pack so many into it. And it's like, does that help to just have more and more and more?
I don't know how true that statement of just peeing them out is. Like
neither do I.
Because that sounds to me like people say like, if I am already hydrated, then the water's just going to go straight to my bladder. Like that's not true. I feel like those are just things people are saying that isn't like backed by evidence. But it is hard to tell with supplements. It's hard to tell if they're working. How did we get on talking about supplements right now?
I don't know. It's just very hard to tell what is good or not, or like, oh, this one has this percent of the daily values, and then this one has like way more. And yeah, same with dog things where they're like, this has 50 times what they need.
Okay, the other thing though too that I just want to put a disclaimer out is the thing that kind of annoys me sometimes is brands will use studies on a specific ingredient in a supplement versus their supplement. So like they'll find a study that says ashwagandha did X, Y, and Z, but like they didn't test their supplement. They pulled studies that were done on ashwagandha and then said, and so that's how they have like the claim.
That is so crazy.
One reason I do like Nutrafol though is because they have a ton of like data and like peer-reviewed studies, which are like the best type of studies that you can have.
Oh, that's really interesting.
That's why I do like Nutrafol, because they have like a lot of data and science behind their
products. That is really good. It's like scary how much marketing and the way that brands can like position their products fully changes the appearance of it to the consumer. I forget what documentary it was, like about just like healthy things and how just adding like green or like pictures of leaves or like using the word natural, they can just use that for mostly anything, and then suddenly those products, you feel like they're healthier as the consumer, even though it could have the exact same ingredients as something that doesn't have like green on the package.
Or like you can say natural ingredients but not natural or something like that. Like,
yeah,
a lot of things have those disclaimers.
It's a little scary.
Natural flavors.
Yeah.
Back to social anxiety. That was just like a sharp right turn.
I know. That's funny. Why were we talking about Chelsea Handler anyways?
Because we were talking about beauty treatments. What were we talking about?
I have no idea.
Did you have something else on Chelsea Handler?
No, I was just
she doesn't have social anxiety, that's for sure.
What happened before Chelsea Handler?
I don't recall.
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Okay, well, anyways. Brittany, do you ever experience like those horror, like the feelings of feeling so anxious for those social nervous situations? Shits. Like, yeah, feeling you're gonna throw up.
I do get some nervous poops before like just going out and about.
Okay.
I think like what I've been noticing more is just like the day before or like the day of going to hang out with somebody, like I don't really want to do this. Like,
yeah,
I want to do something else. Like,
it's because it's uncomfortable. Yeah,
I don't even know. Like, I'm just like, sometimes it's just being in my own routine, and I don't want to break out of that. I think it's more so that for me, where I'm like, ugh, like I really just want to like curl up in bed and like watch a movie.
Yeah, for me that depends on the situation of like
eat a cookie. I don't know, but every time I do it, but like I think I know now, like if I go do this, I'll like have a lot of fun, or like I'll be really happy that I did it and like got out of the house. But still, the process of it just makes me like, I don't really want to do this right now, and I just know I have to.
Yeah,
even though like I genuinely want to, I just like don't want to at the same time.
Yeah, like I can identify that in myself if I'm like, oh, I just don't feel like going, but I know I'll have fun, but like I just want to stay home and be in bed, versus like I'm so nervous to go do this thing that like I feel physically ill for days or weeks before. That was really interesting to me that they said like you might worry about the thing weeks in advance, because that's like that sucks so much, because it's like I only want to worry about it once. Like why can't I just worry about it on the day of?
Yeah. But it's interesting too, because you like to plan so much.
I know, yeah. Well, so like I like to know what's happening.
But then like you just sit there and worry about it. Like what if you just did more spontaneous things? Do you think your brain would like not catch up?
Planning. I mean, like more worried, maybe.
Do you have the fear of like doing things that you don't know what to expect? Because I think I equate most of my social anxiety with not knowing what to expect.
Yes. It's like if I haven't been there or done that.
Yep. Yeah. Like I am so comfortable traveling to places that I'm used to, for example, or like going out to dinner or going to Flower Child by myself because I've done it before. But if it's somewhere that I haven't gone before, I don't know where the front door is. I don't know how I'm going to feel when I walk in the door. Like all of these things are going through my brain and making me not want to do it. Even if I'm going with people that I know and that I'm comfortable with. Like,
I think trying to find the bathroom is so embarrassing.
Oh my God, yes.
The number of times I've like walked into the kitchen.
Why is it always next to the kitchen?
I wait to pee for so long until I finally I'm like, okay, I gotta go look for the bathroom now.
Oh my God, the other day I went into like a back employee storage room that had like all of their products in this furniture store. I was like, I think I'm in the wrong place, and I had to go back out and be like, can you tell me again where it is?
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that's exactly how it is for me. Like the more I do something, then I won't be nervous about it at all. Like if I do something 10 plus times, and then also how long ago I did it, because I can get really comfortable at something and then not do it for 5 years, and then it's like restarting.
Yeah.
I also feel like this weekend we were talking about having kids and traveling, because one of Cameron's coworkers, I think, told him like, because we're planning our honeymoon and stuff, and he's like, you need to travel like as much as you can before you have the kids, because then once you do, like you won't travel at all, you won't leave the country. And I was just thinking like it probably just has so much to do with what you already do and what you're already comfortable with, because like taking the dogs places, if we're going somewhere we've never been with the dogs, it's more stressful than somewhere we've gone a million times with the dogs. And I feel like 100%. It'd be the same with kids. Like if you've gone to Italy 10 times already, it won't be that big of a deal to bring your kid with you to Italy. But if this is the first time that you're going somewhere, then I'm sure it's way harder to include a kid in it.
That is such a good point, because I've wondered, like, there's some people that are like, I'm not gonna let a kid stop me from traveling, stop me from doing the things that I like to do. And I think part of it's like mindset, part of it's like just the kid that you get. Like,
yeah, that's probably true.
Like if your kid sucks at like, staying still or whatever, then that would obviously make travel hard. But then I think you're right that it's like just the comfortability of like going places, like, okay, this is like easy peasy, I'll just worry about it like that.
Yeah,
I think I do have like some social anxiety in terms of like my friends with kids though, or like
of being around them.
I think not even just being around them, but just like wanting to like bond with them, but not necessarily knowing like how.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't have a lot of friends with kids. I only have like 1 or 2 with children.
Yeah. But like I don't see them very often. So I'm like, okay, and
that's the unfamiliarity part. Like the more unfamiliar the more that grows, the more uncomfortable it's going to be, and like you don't know how to be around that person anymore.
Random, but it's kind of like how we've talked about advice of like once people die in your life, then you're more comfortable like talking about it and whatnot. Like that when somebody if you've never experienced somebody dying, then you have no idea how to talk to a friend who just had someone die. You're like, this is so uncomfortable, I don't know what to say in the right way. It's the same thing.
Yeah. But
then once you have a kid, like then you'd be like, oh, I fully understand and I like get you. Like I always think about when my sister had a kid, I felt like I just didn't know a lot about having babies, where I just like wanted to hold the baby and I didn't help her cook or clean or like do anything that she probably needed.
Yeah. But I feel like that's almost like easier to be like, okay, let me just do this for you instead. But I'm like, but I also want like a relationship with like my nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
And all of that too.
That is hard.
People with kids want to talk about their kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they tend to hang out with other parents, because they also want to talk about their kids, so they don't feel like they're annoying you talking about their kid. Like, a parent talking to a single person about their kids, you're going to be like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. You want to look at these new pictures? You're like, I don't care. But dogs, I'm like, yeah, I want to see your puppy. Please show me.
Another person Joe's friends with, you're kind of, I don't know if they're really friends anymore, but like it was someone from like high school, and like they met up, And this guy was like, oh, you want to see a picture of my kid? And like, I think the kid's like 1 or 2 now. He like scrolled back to like the newborn picture.
Oh my gosh.
Joke's like, dude, I don't need to see like the whole life. Like, give me like the most recent update.
That's so funny. That's cute of a dad to do. I'm like, oh man, loving his child.
Yeah. Okay, so you know like how awkward thing, though. There are people like that think that you literally want to see all the pictures of their kids, and they're not even thinking about whether or not you actually care. For me, a lot of my anxiety stems from thinking that people don't actually care. So like, I want to take up as little amount of time with people. I don't want to be like a bother or a disturbance to people. So I don't like to even take the time telling an entire story because I'm like, oh, they're bored. I need to stop.
Yeah.
Like they don't care.
Do you feel like there was a lot of times in your life where like people made you feel that way or like straight up even told you that they didn't care what you were saying?
Maybe.
I don't know. Because I
mean, too, I can't remember really a specific time, but it's very probable.
Because then it just like becomes an insecurity that's obviously not true, but that you would continue to tell yourself. But I don't know if that's like I don't know if reassurance would help. Like, what if all of your friends are just like, I love to hear anything you have to say. Your followers love to hear everything that you have to say.
No, I think I got to make everything as quick as possible because they don't want to. They want to hear something quickly. They don't want to hear me talk for 60 seconds straight.
I've literally had to like try and fix that with like stories because I do the same thing where I'm like, I want to tell you the story. Like, I really enjoy like this was like funny or like this was memorable for me or whatever. But I'm like, you don't care. Or I'm like, I just tell myself I'm bad at telling stories. I'm like, I'm not a good storyteller. Like, so it's just kind of like, I don't know. I totally feel that though. Because especially when like you don't really get a response. Or it's like forced or like a forced response where people are like, oh, hi, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm super aware of how people are engaging with me when I'm talking to them. Like if somebody looks away from me while I'm talking, like I can tell. I'm like, oh, they're bored. Like I need to stop.
Yeah.
But maybe
like
they're
the stress yawn, like the like
I start yawning.
That was really good.
Or like, you know how when have you ever been in group conversations where like someone is talking and it literally seems like everyone in the group turns away and starts talking about something else and you're the only person stuck because you feel bad and you're not just gonna like turn away. So you're stuck there pretending you're like, I don't ever want to be that person that's not aware that nobody wants to hear the story anymore, you know?
Yeah. But that's fucked up to that person.
That happens to that person, like then they just stop telling the stories.
Maybe I have been that person.
I feel like they just don't like. Then that's just, I don't know. That's how it was with my family a lot growing up because my siblings being older, like I would have to like yell or just I'd be talked over all the time where I couldn't fucking say anything ever. And like now it's a joke where I just like raise my hand or whatever.
It is kind of funny with kids though, because like you'll tell like a long ass winded story, like going on and on and on about nothing,
no details.
But like that's not fair to you either, because like you're just trying to like be excited about something, and
yeah, exactly. Like whatever friend in that friend group is just trying to be excited and share the story, and like that fucking sucks. That all the friends just turn away and start another conversation.
Yeah,
that happens to me a lot.
Yeah. Or like someone will walk up into the group and like everybody will take that as their out to stop listening to the long, boring story. They're like, oh, good. Someone else is here.
Those are the times though too where I'm like, okay, I could get better at storytelling. Like I think I actively try and like improve those little things. So I think there's like a fine balance of like, okay, how could I get better at doing this versus just.
Yeah, but you're not like, I mean, maybe for social media, sure, but like when you're with friends, you're not there to like entertain them and be a stand-up comedian when you're telling a story. Like you're there to share whatever feelings and whatever.
You're there to keep it short and simple and get to the point.
We can say,
but like, what if? But like, what if every single time you tell a story, like no one's really that engaged? Like I think that's like good feedback to be. But I also think it's good feedback to be like, okay, I could get better at this.
Yeah,
that's
true.
I think I would just be sad of like nobody cares about me and I don't have good friends that want to listen to me.
Or you're just kind of like a bad storyteller and you could just like get better, you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sure there are a lot of classes you could take online and in person to be a better storyteller and speaker.
I'd actually be interested to take one.
Yeah. It would be interesting. That'll be fun, actually. Like, you use storytelling in so many aspects of your life.
That's why I want to, like, circle back to something else we talked about. Like, I don't even know when we talked about it. Oh, I think it was in the Stories We Tell Ourselves episode of me, like, not being a creative person. Mm-hmm. I, like, rejected the idea of, like, needing to write. I'm like, when am I ever going to use this? But, like, no one ever gave me a practical reason. I was very rational when I was a kid. I was like, you have to give me a reason for why I need to do this. Otherwise, I'm not doing it.
Me with math. I'm like, when the fuck am I ever going to do algebra? I'm like, give me one reason.
But, like, writing, public speaking, even like reading comprehension. I fucking hated reading comprehension, but I'm like, wow, it'd be nice to read a book and actually remember what I read and be able to explain it to you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it goes back to that because I'm like, there's a lot of things that I just rejected because I was like, okay, I don't have time for this, or like I'm like not going to focus on this because it's not important to my career. But I'm like, actually, it's very important.
I wonder if they have, because like I definitely took a lot of creative writing classes and stuff like that, but that's really interesting to translate that into speaking, the storytelling, because they have like public speaking, but I think that's different than like telling a story verbally.
Yeah, I wonder if there is something like that. I'm sure it starts with writing, and then that translates into.
But like, also, public speaking,
but I'm not trying to read it. Yeah, I like slam poetry.
Did you guys listen to Synced, where Monica and Liz had to do their like presentations?
No. Yes.
Wasn't Monica's story so fucking good?
So good.
I wish I forget how talented she is. Like, she's so smart. You kind of just, when she just talks on a podcast every day, it's kind of just like, okay. But like her reading that, I was like, oh my God, I want to be able to write and tell a story like that.
Yeah, that is interesting how people's writing is different than the way that they speak.
Yeah.
Well, because it was like a story. It was like a very intentional storytelling essay.
I was just listening to a Smartless episode about, there's like Mark or Mike, something like Barbiglio. I think he's like a stand-up comedian. And he does it in storytelling. So instead of just doing kind of like joke after joke, he like tells a story and then puts the jokes like throughout the story.
That's my
favorite. I was like, that's so cool and so smart. Like
John Mulaney.
Because then people are like engaged with you already, and you don't have to just like flop on a joke. Like people are there throughout it.
Yeah.
I want to like to listen to him because I've never listened to his stuff.
Does he have anything on Netflix or anything? Like, does he have a special?
I don't know. This was like the first time I heard of him. I literally have to, every time we like find a new episode on Smartless, because Joe and I will listen to it in the car together, I have to like look up the people. I have like no idea who they are half the time. Yeah. But then I like see their picture. I'm like, oh, I know who they are.
That's what I do with Armchair Expert too. I'm like, wait, who is this person? And then I see a picture. I'm like, oh, okay.
I need to catch up on Armchair. Has there been anybody good lately?
Bradley Cooper's on today. Cooper. And Jason Bateman was on a couple weeks ago. Oh, Heidi Klum was funny.
I'd love both.
Did you hear the Armchair Anonymous?
Which one?
Oh my God, this girl went live on Instagram while she was having sex with her husband on accident.
I feel like I've heard that story before somewhere, and so now I'm like,
she's lying?
I don't think so, because like she was literally talking to him face to face. Like, I don't know how you could be lying about that, but like I know I've heard that before on another podcast.
Multiple people have done it in history. Yeah. That's just so terrifying. She was like, I was being extra vocal this time, and it was like pointed to the ceiling so like nobody could see, but it was like 7 minutes long. Like, that is so terrifying.
Bad. Wait, can we like have an intermission, or should we like save this for another? Have you guys watched Risatisa?
I am slowly getting through it.
I think I'm on it.
Are you watching it on 2 speed or like 1.5 speed?
Oh,
I've been watching it on regular speed.
Oh,
I watched the 4-minute recap.
Yeah, I know the recap. Like, it's nothing crazy, but it's just like, I think
it is
the
crazy.
storytelling.
It's like Dear John.
The lies are so elaborate and like
compulsive liars. Yeah.
Wait,
no, he's a pathological liar because he has no
that's
reason.
what I meant. Yeah.
I that was interesting to hear the difference between the two.
Wait, what
like
is
compulsive?
The difference?
Compulsive, you'll have like if you're like, why'd you lie about that? They'll have a reason they lied.
Oh.
Pathological is that they don't have any reason. They just are lying to lie. I did not look at the definitions, so that might need to be fact checked, but that's what
in the one I just listened to, she was saying that she thought that he got off on like getting her excited and then telling her that it fell through or whatever.
Yeah. That is really fucked up.
Wild.
People be crazy.
Do that.
Also, Love is Blind. People are fucking crazy on that show too.
I'm so like during the pods, I was like, this is the most successful group of couples.
Yeah, I was like, okay, they're going to be together. Marriages. They're going to be together. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm like, nobody's going to get married.
Yeah, same.
Do they release everything at once?
No, they've been doing it every week. It's so annoying.
So are you, so it is a weekly thing.
Yeah, but they did like 6 episodes the first time, 3 episodes the second time, and then I don't know how many are this week.
I think only 1 comes out this week, or maybe 2.
What the fuck?
I kind of like that. I miss like having like a weekly show.
It's smart.
It's fun because we're all together. Like, you know, the whole culture is talking about it, and it's like dragged out longer for us to keep talking about it.
Out longer. I feel like there's way more like time to talk about the shows
because otherwise it'd be over, and then it's just like, okay, we talked about that.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
But Kenneth and Brittany, the God couple.
Yep.
My friend told me yesterday that the scene where they break up and stuff, that was really like that was really close to their wedding. It wasn't like right when they got home. It made it seem like it was like a day of them being unhappy at home and then they broke up. Apparently that was like way closer to the wedding, which I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That was so crazy.
Did you
the way that they edited it, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to know exactly what was said and like how reactions were, but the way that it was edited,
it's also just like so when they don't put music, or like just depending on the kind of music that you add to a scene, or cutting the music and just having silence, like it fully can change what the moment feels like. Like it can be really romantic.
Like when they were on the boat and it was just quiet and he was just sitting there like and like, it was just so quiet awkward. For so long. They weren't talking to each other. It was just the sound of the boat or whatever. And I was just like, holy shit.
But if they threw in some romance music and like different shots of them looking at each other, then you would have been like, oh, this is cute.
Yeah. The magic of editing.
Yeah.
It's fun though.
You really need to watch for it. Like it's a really good season.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't watch that show. Like what season is it on? 6? I watched the first one. I haven't watched it since, but like I am hooked. And I think it's because everybody's talking about
close
it.
To being casted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it a guy or girl?
A girl.
Did she have a long-term partner? Because I feel like that's what they were casting on.
Wait, was it for the Chicago season?
I'm not going to say any other details. I'll tell you guys after. But
okay, tell us in the Patreon. Check out our Patreon.
But yeah. I was bummed she didn't fully get it.
Oh my gosh.
She was so close.
I would live to know somebody on a reality show. Like if somebody I went to high school with was on... Actually, a girl I went to high school with is currently on that show, like Farmer something. It's like a
Farmer Wants a Wife?
Yes.
Ew!
But I don't really know her, so it's like not exciting.
That
is so funny. I forgot that show existed.
My sister was contacted a couple times about being on a Netflix show, and my sister has anxiety, and so she just stopped talking to them. How did they
find her?
She applied, and then they called her and interviewed her, and then they wanted to set up another interview, and she ghosted them because she was anxious about it. But
that would be so cool.
I think it was for Love is Blind too.
Seriously?
Yeah, because she applied to be on what's the one where they stay in the pool house?
Love Island?
Yes, she applied to be on Love Island, but they were talking to her about, I think, Love is Blind.
That one would be terrifying because you got to be in a bikini the whole time on TV.
I know.
I do not want this. Love is Blind would be I feel like maybe one of the best ones to go on.
It looks fun.
Yeah. And then if you don't make it to getting engaged, then it's just kind of like,
yeah, you just leave.
Fun experience.
Yeah.
It's crazy that like most of them all have like social media presence now, and like it helps like skyrocket.
Well, how do you guys feel about like a lot of people are coming out where they had like ex-girlfriends, or that they were just dating somebody, or just had a fiance, or were currently dating somebody and broke up with them for the show? That happens with Bachelor all the time. Like, do you guys think that producers should do more research and not pick people like that? Or do you think it's fine because like the drama of the show makes it more fun?
Yeah, I feel like producers aren't really screening. Like, they just want the crazy people. So then obviously it's like, okay, then this isn't a real experiment that's actually supposed to work. You're just trying to stir up drama for TV, and it's working, but like still it's not working the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
I think if they like want people to trust in the show, they definitely have to be a little bit better about casting. Unless they're intentionally casting for like, I think you can do that with like one person, but to have like more than one person on a show, like that's not.
And I feel like they have to know, because like for Bachelor, they reach out to exes. Like they'll ask you for your ex's information to be able to talk to all of them. But it's like this guy Trevor from the season of Love is Blind, like his ex-girlfriend fully released all of their text messages, like of him being like, my phone's getting taken away, I love you so much, like I'll talk to you after. And then after it ended, he was like, it worked out as best as possible, like I didn't get engaged, I'm coming back to you.
And he was my favorite.
I know,
that was so disappointing to learn.
Wait, so are they together now?
No, that's why she released the text messages.
That's pretty nuts.
I know. And then also with Photoshop and stuff, like how do you fully know what's real and what's not, even with text?
That's so true.
Crazy.
I don't know. Did we have anything else that we want to like touch on for social anxiety? I feel like we just talked about the definition and like light topics.
I feel like I want to try beta blockers.
Distracted.
Like, I feel like the symptoms of like the physical symptoms of anxiety really get to me. Like, that's always in certain situations. Like, it's not what's the thoughts in my head. Like, it's like I feel physically ill. And if that could stop, maybe that would really help me. But maybe I would get addicted to them.
That is a very interesting point, because like it seems like it's probably a little bit easier to manage like the thoughts, because it's like something you have to do every day.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right that the physical symptoms like just manifest into making you so much more uncomfortable.
Yeah, because I can only be like, okay, that's not true, that thought's not true, that's not true, I'm good. Like I can tell myself that, you can, like, but like when my body's freaking out,
your body's responding to those thoughts.
Yeah.
But for me, those thoughts are uncontrollable and very uncomfortable as well. Like, I will literally, when I'm anxious about something, I will keep like imagining myself in that situation, I think, to like try to prepare myself. It's my brain's like way of trying to like keep me safe. But I will literally think about it all day long, and I will put myself in that position of something I've never done before and try to imagine myself and how it's going to go.
Like if you're going somewhere new.
Yeah.
You imagine the worst
or
case,
if I'm
or you
on
just
a
imagine
date,
how it would be?
Both. Like, it's nonstop. Like, oh, I'll start imagining like, oh, I'm afraid that this will happen, and then I'll try to imagine, well, this is how it's going to go, this is how it's going to feel, and like it's just like an obsessive thing that I can't turn off in my brain.
Yeah,
I totally feel that. That's the influencer Brooke Averick that I love. Her mom always told her like, what's the worst that can happen, what's the worst that can happen? And my mom always told me that too, and it's true. It's like, okay, you're not gonna die, like you'll be fine, you'll get through it. But this one situation, she was like, okay, she had to drive her crush home from school, and in her head she was like, what's the worst thing that could happen? Like I would throw up on myself or something. And then she threw up on herself in the car, like right in front of him while driving. And so every single time now she's like, I'm just not saying that anymore, because every time I think about the worst case scenario, it ends up happening.
That's crazy.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. I like really try to prevent myself from like thinking too much about like planning kind of the steps of the situation, because I feel like I almost am like, okay, we should talk about this, or we should do this, or like you know, what should, I don't know, like the situation be? But I'm like, I think that ends up me just being so much more in my head during a conversation versus just like being very present and like listening and then actually being able to like have a conversation.
Yeah. Before dates or like before meeting new people, my brain will just start playing out conversations, like pretending that I'm having a conversation with someone. And then it's like I try to turn it off and I think about something else. And then like as soon as I'm not paying attention again, my brain is going through this fake conversation that's never going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah, like that's why we love podcasts, because it turns off the thoughts for whatever. Yeah. Like whenever you can focus on the podcast, exactly. It turns off the thoughts.
Yep. Yeah, it's fucking annoying.
And like also I don't know what part of that can be good to like feel prepared or to be like, oh, I'm gonna ask these questions, or
it just feels very unnecessary. It's like, shut up, brain. Mm-hmm. Shut up.
Yeah.
But it won't. As soon as I stop paying attention, it does it again.
That's what I was telling my mom this weekend, is that I missed Lexapro because it turned off the thoughts. Like I don't feel like my meds now turn off the thoughts. In Lexapro, I was like chilling. Like it really turned it off.
Would you ever go back on Lexapro?
I don't know. I was going to make a doctor's appointment to uppity the meds and see if that...
The Wellbutrin one?
Yeah, just to see.
Have you noticed any of like your meds helping with social anxiety, Dev?
I don't think really with like the situational like day of type of anxiety doesn't help, but I feel like it kind of helped with the obsessive thoughts of sadness. Mm-hmm. But also I'm taking such a small dose.
Is yours an SSRI? What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this one says that only SRIs would be used to treat social anxiety disorder. And like my Wellbutrin isn't an SSRI. But Lexapro is.
Yeah, I don't think I'm taking enough to like really make a difference. And I was taking it before I went on those dates that I went on, and my brain was doing that anxiety thing, so that it wasn't stopping that.
How many weeks has it been, or months, or
been like
3 months, 6 months?
Right? 6 months?
Yeah.
I'm like weeks. Holy shit. Wait, so
did you up your dose though recently? No. Or no, you said that you didn't want to because you'd have to go back to the doctor.
Yeah, then
Do you want to like refigure anything out, or do you feel like it's...
I think I want to... I need to start going to therapy and talk through like with a therapist and see what
I really need
they recommend.
Do you want that to be... We can all have that challenge to all make a therapy appointment. We made this literally... I know. Like a year ago, and I
have my like insurance covers it now, so I'm like, since I'm paying for it, I like should do it.
Especially that it covers it fully. Like that's crazy. Usually it's like $20 or $10 or something if your insurance does cover it.
Yeah, I need to figure that out. I've been having some mentee bees lately. I'll talk about it on Patreon.
Okay. Yeah, same.
It's been not good.
Same. Not good.
But... I have a challenge that I'm self-inflicting. On Wednesday, I'm going to a bar class with my mom, but I'm still going to a bar class.
That's fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm nervous.
I almost went to Pilates this weekend, but did not.
You should go this weekend.
Yeah, the girl I met at the nail salon, she was like, I would go to a Pilates class with you. And so...
You did really good at the class we went to.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I'm just like afraid that I'm going to look stupid, I guess. Like that's why I'm like saying that you didn't look stupid. I feel like that's what I'm afraid of at my bar class, that like everybody's going to be such an expert and I'm going to be like...
Yeah. I'm more just like, I hate like sucking at something.
Yeah, me too. Same. It's not fun when you're bad at something.
No. But I do have to like remind myself that workouts, there's never really like a point of, especially classes, there's never really a point where like the class is gonna get that much easier.
Yeah,
because like there's always a way to make it harder.
But also there's never gonna be a point where you're gonna have to show the class.
No, exactly.
I was a dancer. I fucking hated when we would go across the floor, like individually we'd go across the floor doing whatever. And if I was really good at it, I'd be like, fuck yeah. No, I only had a duet because I was afraid to have a solo.
Oh my god, do you have a video of it?
I don't know.
I would love to see any of your dance videos. That would be so exciting.
I mean, I was in dance and gymnastics before there were like
cameras,
camera phones. You know, like good camera phones.
My day, we didn't have cameras.
Dad pulled up some of our like old home videos. And we were dying laughing. Like there is definitely one where like me and my friend choreographed like our two younger sisters together, and like we had the whole dance, and it was I forgot which one it was, but it was just like the most, and you could definitely tell like we were behind the scenes directing, like the camera set up and we're like, okay, yes, this is
Oh my god, I love that.
I have so many videos like that where I'm like the director, like I'm like, no, get back in line, like stop doing that. I'm like, change your outfit. Like I was so bitchy.
Yeah, I was always the like teacher or the like authoritative figure.
Same. I was always the narrator in like plays. I always wanted to be like the outside person.
Yeah.
I made a Pilates appointment. Scheduled a class? What is that fucking called?
You did? For when?
Last
reservation. Wait, when? What?
Last Wednesday.
Did you go?
No. I got really scared because I saw these TikToks about Club Pilates, which is where I signed up. And this girl was like, my instructor was so mean to me. And she was like, I got bullied. She called her fat. And I was like, oh my God, I could not go to that. And it was the same day this other girl who works where the dogs do training. She's like the front desk of their social media girl. She's so nice. She told me about this female-owned gym. And they do like, it looks so fun. Like they have the kind where like the lights are all flashing and it's like a dark room.
Pilates?
They have Pilates. They have like, they just do a lot of like weights. They do things like HIIT workouts to music and like so many different class options. That looks so much fun. Like they did a whole Taylor Swift Valentine's Day class.
Oh my God, that would be so fun.
Yeah, and she said she goes like all the time. So I'm like, okay, maybe I could go with this girl, or maybe I could just go alone and then be like, hi.
Hey, fancy seeing you here. You should. Is that okay? What do you guys do in those situations where you like know somebody, where like you kind of know somebody, but like you've met them maybe like 3 or 4 times? Okay, you see them out in public. Do you run and hide, or do you like say hi?
Usually run and hide, unless I'm like one time I saw my sister's best friend and family at the grocery store, and I was like, I saw them in the aisle and I was avoiding them, but then we happened to start checking out like right next to each other in the self-checkout, and then I had to say hi. But like if I don't have to, I'm avoiding it.
That's so awkward. Did I tell you guys about the time I saw a realtor at the airport? And I was like, okay, I'm avoiding saying hi. I like didn't have makeup on and stuff. And I was like, I also get worried, like, will they recognize me at the time whenever I recognize somebody? So I'm like thinking, okay, would she recognize me? And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to avoid it. We're going through security and it's like the lines back and forth. And every single time we like pass each other. So I just like pretended to be on my phone and like looking completely the opposite direction.
My God.
The like hard look to like the left.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so awkward.
Did you ever have to say hi?
No, I just kept looking down and to the side and fully avoided it.
That is so funny.
But yeah, so I typically like to avoid in most situations. But also it's weird when you only know somebody online and you're not 100% sure what they look like in person. Like where you're like trying to look for somebody. I feel like, is that like dates too? Like if you are going to a place and then it's like, wait, I need to find them.
Yeah.
Would you prefer to get there first?
I think so, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'd prefer to like be sitting with a drink already, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like to be later.
All right, well, I hope you enjoyed our episode about social anxiety and a bunch of other things that were really off topic.
Like an ADHD tangent.
Literally. We're going to continue talking in our Patreon bonus episodes, so make sure you click the link in our description or in any of our social media to find that and join our Patreon. And we'll see you next week wherever you listen to podcasts. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.